Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Strange New Worlds, we're all over halfway through this first season. It's flying along. It's going along really well. And today we're talking about episode 6, which is coming up on this Thursday, and we're going to be going through the trailer for the episode, having a look through that, looking at it shot by shot, see what we can learn. We're also going to have a look at the sneak peek scene from this episode, which has a bit of humour in it. Interesting episode this one looks like it's going to be. And we might even take a look at some of the promo photos that are out there for this episode. So we've got quite a bit to look through this upcoming episode of Strange New Worlds. Guys, please, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, please don't be afraid. Click on that big red button to stay up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. Okay, so let's first of all have a look at the trailer for our next episode, episode 6, and then we'll break that down shot by shot, and then we'll get into the sneak peek scene and some photos. Let's check it out.
Let's go meet our guests.
Pike? You know her?
Your new uniform is very yellow.
It's gold, technically, because I'm a captain.
The first servant is a whole new child. Everyone on Majalis is his family.
I bet I could generate my own subspace frequency.
That would be an impressive feat.
The boy is in great danger. There's no one I can trust.
Red alert! What the hell is going on?
If the first servant doesn't ascend, we'll be destroyed.
Okay, so let's have a look at some of the shots from this trailer and look at them one at a time and see what extra information we can suck out of this trailer and see what we can learn about this week's episode. So for starters, this week's episode takes place on the planet of Majalis, which is a little different than what we thought. Looking at earlier trailers for the series, we thought we might be going to the planet of Ardana, which is where the city of Stratos was in the episode of the Cloud Minders, going by the city floating in the clouds in this episode. But that doesn't seem to be the case. We've got a very pretty looking planet with culture here that looks like it's very inspired from Indian architecture and costuming and so forth. And this young boy seems to be the central figure of the episode. We've got an underground cavern here with a bunch of what looks like energy turbines and a chair that's all hooked up to them, which seems to imply that somehow this little boy is of great significance in terms of the planet's power supply or energy generation or something to that effect. Pike captured by a couple of guards here, looking a bit upset about it, and what appears to be a crashed Magellan spacecraft on some kind of moon here. And it seems we have Lan heading up an away team investigating the crash site. And it looks like Pike is having a bit of a late night rendezvous with Alora here, coming to her boudoir for a bit of late night booty call. We've got the Enterprise here engaged in a battle scenario, taking a few hits from the Magellan ship and returning phaser fire at the same time. Pike and crew on the bridge here, obviously midst battle, looking very tense. And Pike looking quite shocked here as he's restrained by 2 Magellan guards, while it looks like the kid's about to get put up in this chair in the background here, which kind of looks a bit like an electric chair, which doesn't look too great for him. Pike and Alora making what appears to be some sort of fast escape from one of the buildings here on Majalis. One of the Magellan guards being fired at with a phaser from an aerial position, and another guard here being completely vaporized by a phaser on kill setting. And this guard not looking too happy here as he charges Pike with his fighting pike, I guess you'd call it, and Pike here taking aim with his phaser in defense. Alright, let's now have a look at the sneak peek scene from this episode, which has a little bit of humour in it. We've got Pike and number 1 in the transporter room, welcoming on board what seems like Pike's old flame. So let's take a look.
Laura and I met years ago.
He rescued me from another shuttle.
Seems like you have bad luck with shuttles.
Or good. Depending on how you look at it.
Well, allow me to welcome you all to Enterprise.
Pike definitely seems a little bit nervous about having his old girlfriend on board again. I don't think maybe he expected to see her, and seems like it's a bit of a surprise for him that she's on board there. And there's a little bit of nervousness and awkwardness, which I'm guessing is going to be a little bit of humour derived from that.
Your new uniform is very yellow.
Oh, it's gold, technically, because I'm a captain. So.
Well, on behalf of Majalis, we thank you for your help, Captain Pike.
So it seems like Pike's old girlfriend probably hasn't seen him since he donned the old blue Discovery-style uniform. And maybe even he might not have even been a captain at that point. Maybe he was still a commander on board the Enterprise as Robert April's first officer. I like the levity in this scene, the tone of the humour that comes out of this kind of awkward interaction between these two. It's good to see our characters, have got a lighter side, and they're not all sort of super serious all the time.
This is my number one. Una, Lieutenant Commander Una Chin Riley.
Allow me to take you to the ready room to debrief.
But first, I must insist you take us to your medical facility.
Of course, right away. Chief Kyle will escort you down. Sorry, are you the boy's father?
Strictly in a biological sense.
Well, it certainly seems this poor boy's father doesn't really maybe care for him too much. It's a bit of an awkward moment at the end of this scene where Una looks to Pike, and there's a bit of that exchange going on. I was like, what the hell's this guy's deal? He obviously isn't too keen on his biological son and kind of seems a bit dismissive. So it'll be interesting to see what the motivations behind his attitude is. So going by some of the photos and the title of this episode, the title of episode 106 for Strange New Worlds is Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach. And Pike's old girlfriend's name is Alora, and the father is Elder Gamal, and the boy is determined as the first servant. We've got a few photos from the episode here, which shows obviously our team in the transporter room. Some various stills here taken from the same scene that we took a look at in the sneak peek just now. We've also got some stuff going on in sick bay. Obviously, Elder Gamal asks to be taken to the medical facility, where the boy is obviously getting a bit of a checkup here from Mbenga and Chapel, and having a bit of a discussion with Spock as well. Looks like we might be having some sort of, whether there's some sort of political stuff going on, or some, there's a combination of sort of spiritual and political belief structures and stuff questioned in this episode. I think it's probably going to be one of those episodes that shines a light on, some socially important topic, as Star Trek tends to do. But it does seem like we're going to get a bit of action as well as, philosophy as well, which is always good. I'm looking forward to episode 6 of this season. It just seems like the season's flying along. Before we know it, it'll be over. I think the 10-episode season works well when you've got one story going throughout the whole season, like Discovery and Picard do. But I think with Strange New Worlds, because each episode is a self-contained story, it feels like we need more episodes. It feels like we're just going to be getting a nice taste of this show, and it's going to be off, which is a bit of a pity, because it's been a really good season so far. Would have been better if we'd got at least a 13-episode season, I think, out of Strange New Worlds, not just 10. Which, as I said, is fine for when it's serialised, but when it's self-contained, I think you want a few more episodes. Guys, please, as always, leave a super thanks if you're able to. It really helps the channel out, much appreciated. If you can't, just leave a like and a comment. Share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so, and check out my merch in the merch store. You can pick up some cool Star Trek t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, all that sort of stuff for great bargain prices. There's some really good sales coming up in the next few days, so be sure to check that out. And I'll catch you guys really soon for my next video. I'll see you soon.